So properly communicating your story or message to your audience is probably the most important job you have to do as a filmmaker. You tell it through your script, you tell it through your shooting, but it's in the editing process where most of the decisions are made on how to relay that information. Because if the viewers don't understand what your story is or what message you're trying to tell, they're going to check out, they're not going to watch, they're not going to pay attention. So as an editor, understanding how people learn and absorb information is critical. Now, some people learn through hearing. You tell somebody something and they get it. Some people learn from reading. We all know people that have to read something before it clicks. I'm like that myself. And a lot of people learn from doing. There's nothing like hands-on experience to really teach you how something's done. Now, when we're editing, we can't necessarily have people do things, but we can show them how it's done. And most people learn from a combination of all three of these things. So whenever I'm editing, I'm always taking into consideration how the audience might absorb my information and how they're going to understand the story I'm trying to tell with the information that I'm giving them. And one way to do that is to think of the 3 S's. If they say it, show it, and spell it. Now, keep that in mind. If the character on the screen says it, try to show it, and try to spell it. Now, most of the information your audience is going to get comes from a character or subject speaking on screen. So just make sure that your audio is clear and loud enough to understand. That should be a no-brainer. Now here I have a video of my daughter telling everybody what's in her dance bag. And yes, I know, the suspense is killing me too. Let's take a look.
So the first thing I have in here are ballet shoes.
So if they say it, spell it. Put the key point or the subject that they're talking about on the screen. In this case, it was ballet shoes. Think about it. How many times have you been watching a video that you're not totally into and your mind starts to drift? And you look back and you're like, wait, what are they talking about? When you've got text on the screen, you can keep the audience focused on what is happening and what information is important in the video. Again, keeping your audience informed will keep them engaged and entertained, and they will walk away with a better understanding of the information you were trying to communicate or the story you were trying to tell. So look here. My daughter mentions ballet shoes, and corresponding text pops up on the screen. That keeps your audience engaged and keeps them understanding what is important to your story or message. Now, of course, placing text on the screen isn't always practical, especially in a narrative situation like a TV show or a movie. I get it, but that leads us to our next thing. If they say it, show it. No exceptions. Nobody wants to watch a talking head for 5, 10, 30 minutes. The only exception I would make is if you're giving away too much of the plot by spending too much time on a specific item. If somebody mentions the knife, you don't want to have a super long close-up of the knife if you're giving away the fact that that was the murder weapon. That would be the only exception. But for the most part, if they say it, show it. And this goes for the CEO in your corporate video just as much as it does for your movie. If it's important enough for them to say it, it's important enough for you to show it. Because not only is it a great way to help inform your audience as to what's important and what's being discussed, it's way more entertaining than watching a talking head yammer on for 5 minutes. So let's take another look at my daughter's video here. Let's go back here. So here, she's talking about the ballet shoes. The text pops up on the screen and I show a close-up of the ballet shoes. I also have a close-up of her putting on the ballet shoes, so you see them in action. See, that's way more entertaining than just listening to her talking about her shoes. You see the shoes, you see them in action, there's text on the screen, you understand what's important in the video at this point in time. If they say it, show it, and spell it. And I consider these 3 things with every single video I edit to make sure that I'm communicating the most important information to the audience the best way that I possibly can. And with that, if you'd like to hear more of my thoughts on video editing or filmmaking, hit the subscribe button. But if you want to learn even more about video editing, check out the Fronos Photo Guide to Video Editing. I joined up with Jared Poland from Fronos Photo to create a 9-hour comprehensive video course on all things video editing. If that sounds like something you might like, check out the link in the description, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.